Tired of struggling to grow healthy plants in depleted soil? What if I told you there's a revolutionary approach that mimics nature's own blueprint for abundance, creating a self-sustaining ecosystem right in your backyard? Welcome to the fascinating world of food forests, where building proper soil layers transforms ordinary gardens into thriving, productive ecosystems that work with nature rather than against it. Imagine walking through your garden and harvesting fresh fruit from towering trees, picking berries from shrubs below, gathering herbs at your feet, and discovering mushrooms nestled in the rich forest floor. This isn't a fantasy, it's the reality of a well-designed food forest. A food forest is essentially a carefully orchestrated ecosystem that replicates the structure and function of a natural forest, but with edible and useful plants throughout every layer. The beauty of a food forest lies in its continuous yield and incredible diversity. Unlike traditional gardens that require replanting each season, food forests become more productive over time. As the system matures, trees provide shade and windbreak protection, deep-rooted plants bring nutrients up from the subsoil, nitrogen-fixing plants enrich the earth, and the entire ecosystem becomes increasingly self-sufficient. You'll find yourself harvesting something different throughout the seasons: spring greens and early fruits, summer abundance, autumn nuts and late fruits, and even winter hardy vegetables that thrive under the protective canopy. So, what makes food forests truly revolutionary is their reduced reliance on external inputs. Once they're established, these systems really need minimal watering, fertilizing, or pest control because they actually function as balanced ecosystems. The diverse plant community just naturally manages pests, builds up soil fertility, and conserves water through this intricate web of relationships between plants, soil organisms, and beneficial insects. The secret to any successful food forest honestly lies beneath the surface, in the soil ecosystem. Healthy soil isn't just dirt, it's really a living, breathing community of organisms that creates the foundation for plant health and productivity. When you take a closer look at truly healthy soil, you'll notice its dark, rich color, crumbly texture that holds together when squeezed but breaks apart easily, and that distinctive earthy smell that tells you active biological processes are happening. Healthy food forest soil operates on the principle of layered systems, much like what you'd find on a natural forest floor. Each layer serves a specific purpose and works in harmony with the others to create optimal growing conditions. The top layer consists of fresh organic matter like fallen leaves, twigs, and plant debris that's just beginning to decompose. Beneath this, you'll find partially decomposed organic matter mixed with soil particles, creating that rich, dark humus that gardeners dream about. The deeper layers transition into mineral soil that provides stability and slow-release nutrients. The unseen world of soil microorganisms forms the true magic of this system. Beneficial bacteria break down organic matter into plant-available nutrients, while mycorrhizal fungi form symbiotic relationships with plant roots, extending their reach and improving nutrient uptake. These microorganisms work around the clock, cycling nutrients, improving soil structure, and creating the conditions that allow plants to thrive without constant human intervention. Building effective soil layers for your food forest begins with understanding your starting point. So, start by examining your existing soil. Just dig a small hole about 12 inches deep and observe the soil profile. Look for signs of compaction, drainage issues, or nutrient deficiencies. Clay soils may need amendments to improve drainage, while sandy soils benefit from organic matter that improves water retention. This initial assessment really guides your soil building strategy. The foundation layer forms the base of your food forest soil system. Begin by adding a generous layer of well-aged compost directly onto your existing soil. This compost layer should be at least 2 to 3 inches thick and provides the biological foundation for your food forest. Next, add specific amendments based on your soil test results: bone meal for phosphorus, kelp meal for trace minerals, or lime to adjust pH if needed. The key is working with nature's timeline rather than expecting instant results. Over this foundation, you'll want to create what I like to call the forest floor layer, using a mix of partially decomposed organic matter and some fresh materials. Think about things like fallen leaves, aged wood chips, grass clippings, and even your kitchen compost. This layer should be about 3 to 4 inches thick, and it really mimics what happens naturally in forests, where organic matter is always accumulating and breaking down. As this layer decomposes over time, it feeds the soil community below, while also protecting against erosion and moisture loss. The final layer is a living mulch system, which keeps building soil, suppresses weeds, and helps conserve moisture. You can use materials like shredded leaves, straw, or wood chips, and you'll want to keep this layer about 2 inches thick around plants that are already established and just a bit thinner where you plan to plant seeds or transplants. This top layer acts as both protection and food for your soil ecosystem, gradually working its way into the lower layers as soil organisms break it down. So, successful food forest planting really depends on understanding the mature size and growth habits of the plants you've chosen. You'll want to start with your canopy layer, those larger fruit and nut trees that, define the overall structure of your food forest. These trees definitely need adequate spacing so they can reach their full potential and create the right light conditions for everything growing underneath. And it's important to consider how sunlight will filter through the canopy so you can plan for plants that prefer full sun, partial shade, or even deep shade. The understory layer is made up of smaller trees and large shrubs like dwarf fruit trees, elderberries, and hazelnuts. These plants actually benefit from a bit of protection from the bigger trees, while still getting enough light. You'll want to plant them where they have space to spread out, but not so close that they're competing directly with your canopy trees. Then, right below that, you've got the shrub layer, which includes berry bushes, currants, and other productive shrubs that really thrive in the dappled light created by those upper layers. Ground-level planting is all about herbaceous plants, vegetables, and herbs that round out your food forest ecosystem. A lot of these plants do best in the improved soil and microclimate created by the trees and shrubs above. It's a good idea to mix in both annual and perennial options, so you get a continuous harvest and support soil health at the same time. Things like nitrogen fixation, pest deterrence, and creating habitat for beneficial insects. And just remember, long-term maintenance of your food forest soil layers means you're really managing an ecosystem, not just a collection of individual plants. So, you'll want to keep adding organic matter on a regular basis. Think composting, mulching, and even just letting some plant material break down right where it falls. It's important to monitor your soil moisture, especially during those first few years while your system is getting established. But, as your forest matures and starts creating its own moisture-retaining microclimate, you can expect those water needs to go down. The impact of food forests actually goes way beyond just your own backyard. These systems offer real solutions to some of our biggest environmental challenges. They naturally sequester carbon in both the soil and the plant biomass, so they're helping fight climate change while also producing food. The diversity of plants in a food forest supports tons of beneficial insects, birds, and other wildlife, creating little corridors of biodiversity, even in urban or suburban areas. Plus, food forests help with food security and resilience by producing a wide variety of nutritious food, and they do it with very minimal external inputs. As these systems mature, they become increasingly productive and require less maintenance, making them ideal for communities looking to increase local food production. The knowledge and techniques used in food forest development can be scaled up to larger agricultural systems, potentially transforming how we approach food production on a broader scale. The future of sustainable food production may well depend on our ability to work with natural systems rather than against them. Food forests demonstrate that we can produce abundant food while building soil health, supporting biodiversity, and creating resilient ecosystems. Every food forest created serves as both a productive space and a demonstration of what's possible when we align our growing practices with natural principles. Ready to start your own food forest journey? The soil building techniques we've covered today form the foundation for creating your own abundant ecosystem. Remember that building healthy soil layers is a process that rewards patience and consistency. Start small, observe how your system develops, and gradually expand as you gain experience and confidence. If this guide has inspired you to explore food forestry further, make sure to subscribe to Smart Garden for more in-depth tutorials on sustainable gardening techniques. Share this video with fellow gardeners who are ready to transform their growing approach, and let us know in the comments about your own soil building experiences. Together, we can grow a community of gardeners who understand that the secret to abundant harvests lies in building healthy, living soil systems that work in harmony with nature.